Day one of Rally Whangarei was Mason's day. The former champ was on his game, using clever tactics to save his tyres and pull out a 25-second lead by day's end. Hayden Paddon struggled with unfavourable road conditions at the front of the rally, was lucky to be second. But the Northland roads got their revenge, and Rob Wiley and Daniel Harris both finished with their cars in a sorry state. Today, 4 more tests repeated, 8 chances to be the best on round 3 of the Vantage Aluminium Joinery New Zealand Rally Championship. An early start for the competitors after the overnight parc fermé in Whangarei. And with overnight rain dampening the roads, it was again going to be critical to have the right tyres.
Yeah, today's a different story. We'll have to manage our tyres in a different way. But I think we'll be fine. The distance is a bit shorter between services, so the tyres will go the distance.
Meanwhile, Hayden Paddon found himself starting number 1 in the rally, a case of being a victim of his own success.
Yeah, it's a good position to be in, I guess, for an international rally. It's first time being first on the road. Obviously, we weren't quite expecting it. We thought that we would have been third on the road for the weekend, but hey, nevertheless, we just got to make the best of the situation we're in. It looks like there's been a bit of overnight rain. How much rain there's been on the roads, we'll find out soon, but the more rain, the better, I guess.
So as the cars make their way to Whangarei, let's check out what's in store with our Vantage Aluminium Joinery stage preview.
Day 2 of the NAC International Rally of Whangarei starts with an old Rally New Zealand stage, this year run in reverse. Waipu Gorge will this time start twisting through the gorge before opening out to a faster section before finishing near Whangarei. The gorge can be very slippery if wet, as it has a clay base, so fingers crossed for dry weather. The following stage is another old Rally New Zealand stage. At 20 kilometres long, Batley was certainly challenging in the opposite direction, catching many famous names out over the years. So it'll be interesting to see how it runs in this direction. Fast and technical, excellent pace notes will be a must going fast through here. The special stage 11 Whangarei is a special stage 1 from last year. Another fast-flowing stage that finishes over the famous Hella Bridge. There should be good crowds here to cheer on the local and overseas drivers. Special Stage 12 Millbrook is another stage used in previous years. Really nice stage, fast and flowing with a few technical areas. Definitely a good stage as in that it's mainly downhill, so no real power advantage between the fuel types or car manufacturers. After service in Whangarei, we'll head out to a repeat of the first 4 stages. The weather here will really influence our tyre call, as if it's been dry, the stages will be nice and swept and it will definitely burn out our tyres when we come for a repeat. But if it's been wet, then it could be quite slippery and you'll definitely be wanting to use a softer compound to get more grip. There'll be a real buzz driving on these stages this afternoon, especially if it's dry and the roads are swept, as the camber on these roads just make them so much fun to drive on. You get inside the camber and the car just becomes like it's on rails. Likewise, the roads can be very unforgiving if you do get offline. After a repeat of Millbrook, we head back into the heart of Whangarei for the finish ramp ceremony of round 3 of the Vantage Aluminium Joinery New Zealand Rally Championship.
And perfect conditions too for Hayden Paddon as he lines up at the front of the field. And the Waipu Gorge stage, expert comments from a former rally co-driver, Roger Davis. Big question, has the fog lifted?
Yes, well, the fog definitely has lifted, so visibility won't be a problem. The other interesting thing is there's been a bit of rain overnight, so whether that's going to affect things. If it is quite wet, it'll definitely be better for Hayden Paddon.
And lots to think about too, trying to be the first New Zealand driver, trying to finish top of the Pirelli Star driver competition and trying to win the rally outright. Another international win, 7 minutes 04.8. So that's how we responded to the pressure. Emma Gilmore also moving up the road order. Now 4th amongst the APRC cars, so like Paddon, she'll welcome the damp conditions, which will help even up that disadvantage of running at the head of the field.
Well, a bit of clay on the apex of that corner, so maybe the roads are damper than we think. That would be to her advantage.
Which is what she talked about too in that stage preview. Emma heading down towards Whangarei.
And this stage, Waipu Gorge, is a fantastic stage. Tight and twisty at the start through a few bridges, but this section here is just a rally driver's delight. It's fantastic.
Coming down towards the finish now, and her stage time will be 7:04.9, right on Hayden Paddon's pace.
That is the 7:05.
So will today produce a new rally leader, or can Richard Mason maintain his day one dominance?
Go 24 right plus.
Remember, he too will want the double prize of being the winner on day two and that overall rally title.
Well, with the damp conditions, running a little bit further down the order could be a disadvantage for Richard here. He's gone out on the medium 205 Dunlops, same tyre as what Hayden Patton had.
Interesting to see what the effects of 8 cars running ahead of him will have on his road conditions. Down towards the finish line for Mason. He stops the clock. Oh, 7 minutes, 0.4. He's faster. Next through is Chris West and the Andrew Sims rally team. Has he done enough to get onto the podium? His time, 7 minutes, 08.3, fourth fastest for now.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Sloane Cox suffered a puncture at the end of day one, so he's determined to get out there and go, as you heard him say. That cost him the lead in the junior class. So today it's all about putting points on the board for the young star from Rotorua.
And you can already see in the road there that there's a bit of a groove there, so the damp conditions will affect Sloane. But it's very important for him to keep his head today. He needs to get points for this junior title.
Starting to get to grips too with the Evo 10. Better performance here too, 7 minutes 13. Currently fifth behind West. But don't forget, those open cars are still to come. Kieran Hall, lead rookie on day one. His progress hasn't been up to the top 5 pace, but his consistency in the top 10 means he's gaining valuable points.
Well, yeah, his first year in the championship, and he's doing pretty well already. He's also from Nelson. A lot of good rally drivers coming from that area now.
7 minutes 15 here, so just down on Sloane Cox's pace. But this is the man he's chasing for the new rookie title. Matt Jansen has the advantage of finishing every leg of the championship so far. While he's been down on Hall's pace since round 2, consistency's keeping him just ahead.
Well, that consistency in a championship is very, very important. And Matt Jansen so far has been very good at it.
Josh Marston, also a rookie, 8th fastest at this point.
Josh's father, Lee, he's been a stalwart of mainland rallying, and now he's got a son to look after in rallying as well.
Kingsley Thompson, another 2 seconds back, so off his day one pace. However, as expected, it was the open cars which would blow open the top 10 times. Jeff Argyle, 7 minutes, 04.5, second fastest. Glenn Easter also quick and taking full advantage of the nicely swept roads.
5 right.
Yes, the roads are swept, and this stage again will be perfect for the open cars. And you can see Glenn, he's on a bit of a mission through this stage.
5th fastest. Last piece of the puzzle, Stephen Barker.
Well, Stephen Barker impressed a few people on day one, so let's see how he goes from day 2. A little bit of oversteer coming off that turn. Very important to keep in the wheel tracks on these stages.
Then long 5 right, 30, 5 left, 100.
So Barker coming down to the line. He'll stop the clock at 7 minutes.
300.
14.4. Let's see how that affects the top 10. It's Richard Mason out in front by 3.9 seconds over Argyle Patton, now third, just 0.3 down.
Chris West now in 6th place, but look at the juniors and the rookies in behind him.
Welcome back to Rally Whangarei, on a road that has lots of history from Rally New Zealand. The Batley stage runs south of mighty Mangatoroto, a beautiful township on those upper reaches of the Kaipara Harbour. But for its return to international rally, it's a twist. The stage is run in reverse. So once again, into the unknown for Hayden Patton. He's the very first rally car on the road, just the 3 safety cars in front of him.
Well, this is a stage you've got to be particularly careful on, because this has claimed some big names. Hossan Vaughan's been off the road here. Marty Rotzenberg, Greg Graham, Carlos Sainz has been off her as well. So it's a tricky stage.
Let's see what Patton's time is at the split. 4:13.1. And he's flying.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All the pressure down. Emma Gilmore, a slow start on day one cost her, but today she's been able to match Payton's pace, just under 5 seconds down on Mason so far.
Well, this could be interesting for Emma. It could be tricky because the fog's coming in down here.
Right, let's check out her split time compared to Payton. Down a couple of seconds, so can Richard Mason repeat his day one form? 4 stages this morning. Once again, tyre management absolutely critical, Roger.
Yes, we saw it with Richard Mason on day one. Early on in the stages, he backed off a little bit, preserved his tyres, so he had really good tyres for the later 2 stages. We don't really get this in any other rounds of the championship. The reason is because they run 4 stages. Usually we get 2 or 3 before a service break.
60, short 6 right, 50 right, and 40 plus double 80.
Great shots on board with Richard and Sarah Mason. Let's check out his split time compared to Emma Gilmore and Hayden Patton as they fly over the... Oh, look at that. He's up on both of them already. Good advantage. Chris West next through the stage. Potentially his road position gives him the best shot at victory. This car, of course, is the older one of the top 5 contenders, so he's up against it still.
Yes, he's up against it. He's gone out for soft tyres this morning, which is probably not a bad idea on these stages.
Of course, won the rally last year. What will his split time be compared to the others?
Well, he's down on time.
4:16.24. So now, Hayden Patton down towards the finish. You can clearly see the amount of gravel on this part of the road. That's going to slow him down.
You can hear it too. You can see that he's struggling on this. Once again, Hayden's going to be road sweeper today.
And his time will be 11:58.2. Emma Gilmore was only just a couple of seconds off Patton's pace at the split. What can she do now, the Subaru?
Well, she's going pretty good this morning because she's actually quicker in the first stage than her teammate, Cody Crocker. Emma's running a narrower medium Pirelli tyre.
And a new co-driver for this weekend, Rhiannon Smythe.
And a good time coming up too, I think.
12 minutes, so just 1.9 seconds behind Patton. Now, Richard Mason, is this the make or break part of the rally for him? And those 2 in front of him. Hasn't had great luck on this rally. Remember, it's his bogey event.
A little bit wide there too, but he's looking pretty fast. He was definitely up on the split. And the second, third stages of these groups is when Richard makes his charge, and I think he's on one now.
Challenging conditions from sunstroke to a little bit of fog, slightly damp road. Coming down to the line, 11:48.7, 10 seconds faster.
Good job.
Says it all, doesn't it? Good job. Can Chris West do anything here?
Chris actually looks quite smooth and tidy at the moment, so maybe these tyres are working for him.
Well, looks like he's slower than Mason, but right on Patton and Gilmore's pace, yes. 12 minutes, 0.2. But this time the open class cars weren't so dominant. Argyle dropping here from 2nd to 5th. Glenn Inkster also dropping a place here, down to 6th overall. That was due to unfortunately catching an alien car of Adam Blythe.
Here, 6 left, don't go wide. 7 right minus 60. 7 right minus 30. Short 7 right minus 5 left.
So frustration for Inky there, and Blythe would actually lose 4 minutes here and drop to last place. But there was good news for the rookie Stephen Barker. He was 7th fastest on this stage, and his time 12 minutes 09 moves him into the rookie lead. So Kieran Hall losing the rookie lead here, but he did move up from 9th to 8th on this stage. And it was at the expense of this man, Sloane Cox, losing nearly 30 seconds to the leaders on the stage, dropping from 7th to 9th.
5 right tightens.
Yeah, we're slowing a little bit off the pace here, but it's probably expected because they haven't done this stage before, and as we said earlier, this is a very tricky stage, so maybe a conservative approach here from Sloane.
Ben Jagger picked up the early lead in the Fiesta class, was 2 seconds ahead of Malley on stage 9, but that lead became 10 seconds over Ben Hunt on stage 10. Malley looked like he would take up the challenge as he did on day 1, but on stage 10 his Fiesta was stuck in 4th gear and he would struggle through the morning until service. So Rally New Zealand scholarship winner Ben Hunt moved into 2nd in the class, 9.5 seconds behind Jagger. Dominic Unterberger was 4th in the class, but his car had been patched together with borrowed suspension after his day 1 crash, and he was struggling. So Richard Mason looking good already, 13.7 second lead. Chris West moves to 4th, Argyle drops to 5th.
Stephen Barker up to 7th place, but just 1.9 seconds back to Karen Hall.
So 2 stages down and 2 to go in the morning phase of Rally Whangarei for day 2. Both Whangarei and Millbrook, classic Rally New Zealand stages from the WRC. And look at the crowds. Richard Mason was on a roll. It was starting to look like deja vu for Hayden Paddon and the other Kiwis. Under pressure.
Well, Hayden, he's going a bit wide there as well. But he'll be looking forward to the afternoon because the roads will be swept, because at the moment he's one on the road and he's really struggling. That car's all over the road at the moment as he comes up to the Hella Bridge.
So over the famous Hella Bridge and the stage end, Paddon across the line. 11 minutes. What's he going to stop the clock at? 27.8. That's 20 seconds slower than Marcos Legato's Group N stage record.
We're trying hard, but we just can't really control the car in the loose gravel, really struggling in the tighter corners and trying to keep the car straight and carry speed, but it's just not happening. But all in all, it's all right. We're doing all right against internationals who are on similar road conditions to us, so that's promising, and all good.
So no records to be broken today. That just emphasises Paddon's problem. No cars out in front to help him. By the looks like it's sort of the same too for Emma Gilmore.
Yeah, she'll be struggling with the road conditions as well. Now, these roads up here are very fast. This stage is a very quick stage indeed. The road very fast, very flowing. And, of course, you've got this big Hella Bridge you're coming up to now with a big jump at the end of it. Oh, she nearly went straight ahead there.
45 left front.
Down to the finish line. And her time is going to be 11:33.1. Challenging morning for Emma.
Emma, looks like a bit of tyre wear on this car.
Yeah, unfortunately, the car was pretty loose there. Started thinking something was wrong with it. We were that taily at times, going 90 degrees to the road, made it a bit exciting. But, yeah, just a little bit messy in there. We just sort of struggled with the notes at times. And, yeah, just not so flash, but still happy. Car's working good when it's working. Yeah, but just the tyres probably wasn't so good in there.
So again, it's Richard Mason in control on the stage.
Well, he certainly is in control of the rally at the moment. And they carry 2 spare tyres in the car. So Richard will probably change at the end of this stage.
20.
And he's looking pretty good at the moment.
23 right.
Up and over the famous Hella Bridge. Hell of a sight for the fans. Down to the finish.
200.
And looks like he's going to be faster than anyone else again. 7 seconds faster. Another good job.
Richard, you got a lot of pace on this morning. You're certainly doing it.
Yeah, no, I feel pretty comfortable this morning. The car feels nice and it's handling how I like it, so it makes a big difference.
And now here comes Westy.
Well, there almost goes Westy again. Another big understeer into that corner. We saw Emma do that as well. Maybe there's something on that corner. A little bit slippery.
His time was just 1.9 seconds behind Gilmore on the previous stage. And yes, that will put him into 3rd. Jeff Argyle stayed in 5th through here. And Glenn Inkster closed the gap to Argyle to just 0.3 seconds. So could we see a change in the open class lead before service?
Half short, 5 left. 6 left, tightens. Hold on.
Looks like Glenn might have lost his notes here.
Long 4 right flat, yeah. Sorry, dude. 6 left tights to 5.
Well, that's a very easy thing to do because these roads are so demanding for a co-driver. They come up so fast, you've got to be on your game.
Kieran Hall pushed harder through the stage to take back the rookie lead from Stephen Barker. He was on his game. Barker lucky not to lose 2 places when he dropped just 10 seconds on Hall and was now just 4 seconds away from Sloane Cox.
3 right junction.
Stage 12 and no surprises, no changes over the short stage in the top 5. Mason extending his lead out to 21 seconds. The question for Hayden Paddon was, would the road conditions now allow him to catch that time back in the afternoon? A tricky corner here caught out the open class cars, and Stephen Barker, the first to go wide and lose valuable seconds. Running in reverse order, Glenn Inkster is next through the stage. He too has problems on that corner.
Yeah, carrying far too much speed into that corner.
He just missed it completely.
He sure did, but he'll be able to get away with it. Back, turn the car around, get back on there again.
What if they had another problem with the place notes?
Very long.
Well, very difficult to do that up here, Clint.
Very long.
Very tricky for a co-driver.
And finally, Jeff Argyle. Oh, just pulling up in time. Kieran Hall would still be the first rookie at the end of the morning, but was now under pressure from behind. In fact, Sloane Cox was 6th fastest on the stage, his fastest stage time yet on the rally, moved within 10 seconds of Kieran Hall. Steady progress too by Matt Jansen through the morning, but he was losing touch with these two ahead.
Into a 6 left. 15 to 3 right.
Yeah, Matt going for the cautious approach today. Just a little bit behind the other two at the moment, but again, he's certainly been consistent, and that's all he has to do.
To 2 left plus.
Gained good experience. Northland's Kingsley Thompson also off the pace this morning, unable to crack the top 10 in the Evo 10. Kirsty Nelson was struggling to keep pace with the more modern machinery. By the end of the morning, she was 12th behind Thompson on her home rally. Ironically, it was the other Northlander, that's Ben Jagger, who was behind her and leading the Fiesta class again. He was slowly edging ahead of his nearest rival. But the other Fiestas of Patrick Malley and Dominic Unterberger, handicapped by mechanical woes, Ben Hunt was safe in 2nd place in the Fiesta class for the morning at least. 16-year-old schoolboy Alex Kelsey was now 15th, up from 18th on stage 9. And Matt Summerfield led the open 2-wheel drive battle in his Skoda in a seesaw battle with Reg Cook. In fact, after 4 stages, Cook was just 3.5 seconds behind the teenager. And let's not forget Mike Cameron, now the only classic competitor.
Well, he's got a lot of pace on. He wants to win this Classic Championship.
So let's see where the drivers lie going into service. It's Richard Mason, 21 seconds ahead of Paddon. But will that be enough to defend over the final 4 stages?
Glenn Inkster doing a great job in the open class for 6, but with no road advantage this afternoon, will he and Jeff Argyle be able to hold on?
And Ben Jagger leads the Fiesta class, looking good to hold off any challenge. But a big challenge this afternoon for Josh Marsden with overheating problems and Patrick Malley with those gearbox problems.
Richard at the halfway mark, a 21.1 second lead.
Yeah, that's a good start to the day, really. We've only done 4 stages, so that's a good crack, really. This afternoon, we'll see some more sweat roads, so I'm expecting Hayden to be a bit stronger there.
Hayden halfway through the day, Richard's got a 21 second lead on you.
Yeah, it's what we're expecting, really. We're quite surprised that the gap isn't bigger, being that we're first on the road. It has been hard work, and I'm sure the road has been improving, but hey, we're happy with that. We're going reasonably well.
one on the road today. It's a handicap for you.
It is, but as I've said all weekend, like, we're not complaining about that fact. Like, it's great to be first on the road at an international event and mixing it with the big boys in the Asia Pacific Championship, and I think we've been doing ourselves some good justice there.
Chris currently third place in a big battle with Emma Gilmore.
Yeah, it's good. Like, it's car feel was really good this morning. It's unfortunately we're sort of a wee bit light on tyres, so we only used the 4 through this morning's pass, but same again this afternoon, hopefully.
Emma, looks like the battle between you and Chris West is carrying on today. Chris West currently third.
Yeah, Chris is just in front of us, but we had a couple of problems in those last 2 stages. Sort of thought it was maybe the tyres, but definitely in the last stage we were just scrambling away around the outside of corners. Just the car just didn't have the power to pull itself out, so smelling really oily, and I think it's lack of response, so we're pretty sure it's going to be a turbo, so hopefully that's the problem and the boys can fix it, and it's nothing more serious than that.
You're currently 10th place, so this rally you're using is, I guess, experience?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, like I said, we haven't been here before, so like you look at anyone else that's sort of winning or leading this event, they've been here 5 or 6 times. They know these roads and they know the character of the roads.
Patrick, problems early part of the day?
Yeah, you could say that. We basically had one gear to choose from and didn't have a choice in what gear that was. It was 4th gear, and tell you what, uphill hairpins are hard with only 4th gear.
Been going pretty well on your home ground, 24-second lead halfway through day 2.
Yeah, unfortunately Patrick's been having problems this morning with his gearbox, so it has worked in our favour again today, and I think I'm enjoying the stages a lot better than yesterday, so it's going to be really good this afternoon.
But stick around because someone's in trouble. Who will it be on Rally Whangarei? Welcome back, and before we find out who's in trouble at Rally Whangarei, Kieran Hall is a championship rookie. 2 punctures on day 1 at Rally Hawke's Bay was not the ideal start to his campaign. But since then, the Nelson driver has been consistently the fastest of the new drivers.
Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy the National Championship. It's a big step up from what I've done last year, and the competition's great, and it's improving my driving. Yeah, we've done 2 years of Rally Extreme, which was really good, bringing up into the National Championship. Got us to grips with how cars are needing to be run on the road, and progressing up to this is much better.
Your goal was always to be in the National Championship?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be in the National Championship. I do have a 4-year plan of being National Champion, and this is a stepping stone of the build-up to that.
And Hall has certainly benefited from being under the watchful eye of the current championship leader, Richard Mason.
Yeah, Richard has been absolutely amazing. I mean, without his help, we would be another year behind, because he's given us a car that is ready to go, and with his latest developments from last season, so we can't ask for any more from Richard.
The last 3 or 4 years we've been helping young drivers and doing sort of a junior driver program. This year we've got Kieran Hall. He's performed well in the Rally Extreme Series and the Mainland Series.
What sort of help could you give him?
Oh, there's a lot that we can help with, especially in suspension and setup. They're the biggest things, like obviously the car, what things to do, what things to leave alone, It's a new car for him, and there's a lot to learn, and you can go the wrong way very quickly. The years that we've had working with Subarus, we know what works and what doesn't, and we can immediately tell him the right things to go to.
And when it comes to getting help, Hall also calls on friends and family to get him going.
Yeah, very strong support from the family. Without the parents, obviously, it wouldn't be possible. And it's great to have a team bond, It makes it so much less stressful.
So keep watching for Kieran Hall and Rally Whangarei in that rookie part of the championship. A repeat of the morning stages, but of course all the roads will be swept this time. So for Hayden Patton, perhaps a chance to really pick up the pace and close that 21-second deficit to Richard Mason.
Yes, this is his opportunity, because he has got the swept road, but surprisingly he's gone for the same tyres as he did this morning. He's gone for the 205 medium Dunlops, so obviously he doesn't think the 215s will work here. Well, you can see with the amount of gravel on the road, definitely the wide tyre won't work on this surface. And also maybe a little bit damp as well.
His time 6:53.5, fantastic time. So Hayden Patton has improved. Looks like Emma Gilmore's on target for a good time through here too. She does a 5:55.7, 9 seconds off her morning time. So what will Richard Mason be able to do? Defend his lead here.
Well, he's got a 21-second lead, 60 k's to run.
5 right, plus.
But it's fairly even this afternoon. Everyone's got the same sort of road conditions, so he's just got to stay consistent and stay in front.
Oh, that just cut out.
Repeat long fast, 5 left.
Looks like he's got a problem here. He's saying something. The car is definitely slowing down.
What's happened? Repeat 5 right, tightens fast.
It's got like a limiter or something.
And left.
So can you believe it? On board with Chris West. Well, if Mason can't get going, he'll gift a place to all the other top drivers. Look at that smoke.
Well, there's the clue. Richard Mason, I think he's blowing a turbo because they're catching him pretty fast. Chris, you can't see through here.
Oh, disaster for Mason.
It's 4 right plus, 5 left minus.
His bogey rally again.
Short right, 4 left, 4 right minus.
Now, this will be very tricky for Chris West because it's hard to see. Well, Richard Mason sometimes folds his mirrors in on stages, so I don't think he's aware he's got a lot of smoke coming out of the back of the car. That's probably why he's driven for so long like this.
Oh, you're joking.
And there he is.
5 right plus, long.
Oh, unbelievable. Chris West, he's got a problem as well.
Just as he passed Mason.
Definite problem in this car.
So unbelievable. Bad luck for Weston Mason, but of course Jeff Argyle now, he moves up to third, 28 seconds behind Gilmore. Glenn Easter is in fourth, just 7 seconds behind Argyle. So can he put the pressure on the former champion?
5 right plus. It's a late, long 4 left minus. 6 right.
Another 30 seconds back to Kieran Hall, so he still leads the rookies, but the fight for 5th place is far from over. And after losing time in the morning, Sloane Cox is having the best run of his season so far.
50.
He is slowly, stage by stage, eating into Hall's time, and at the end of the stage, he is 6th, and the gap is 8.4 seconds.
180.
It's not plain sailing for Cox because Stephen Barker's on the charge.
Opens 30, full long 5 right.
Stephen Barker's competing for the rookie title as well as the junior title as he hit that bump pretty hard. So he's opposition for Sloane Cox in the junior section.
And by the end of the stage, he's closed that gap to Cox to under a second. And these Northland roads reward the brave, but they're also daunting for young drivers like Matt Jensen.
As he said in the interview, this is all new to him.
To a 4 right, 60.
Now up to 8th place. So let's take a look at that big change in the leaderboard. Hayden Padden now 14 seconds in front of Emma Gilmore. Jeff Argyle now up to 3rd.
And look at the junior battle. Sloane Cox, he's 0.9 of a second ahead of Stephen Barker.
Stage 14, Batley and Hayden Padden now look set to become the championship leader. If he can keep his pace, he'll be rewarded with the Day 2 championship points, the championship lead, the win in the APRC Pacific Cup. He'll be the Rally Whangarei overall winner for the 2nd time. Can he believe his luck?
Well, he's still got 3 stages to get through yet, though. He's driving pretty hard through here. You saw him there, but I don't think he knows that Richard Mason's out of the rally yet, so he's still going to keep up his game.
And he gets another stage win, more valuable points in that Pirelli Star Driver competition. Emma Gilmore's been wanting to go better than her consistent 3rd places in the championship so far. Now this is her chance. 11:47.3 keeps her in 2nd place. Jeff Argyle actually faster than Gilmore through here, but the gap is 25 seconds, so he stays 3rd. But Glenn Easter, lucky to stay on the road here at the start of the stage.
Well, he's very lucky because just as well there's no water in there, otherwise he probably would have gone swimming, but he managed to get out.
And recovers well to hold on to 4th. Sloane Cox had been just 0.9 seconds in front of Stephen Barker in the battle for 5th place. The closest battle in the rally, and both young drivers showing lots of commitment.
Well, it's great for these young drivers to be in such a big battle because the experience is invaluable.
30. 4 left plus.
Well, it's all about withstanding pressure at this level, and these young guys are doing a good job.
Sloane Cox coming down to the finish line.
Over finish.
His time 11:59.4, 26 seconds slower than Padden. Remember that Stephen Barker's running a lot further down the road order because he's in the open class.
Well, that could be an advantage running down the order because he would know what Sloane's stage times from the previous stage, yet Sloan wouldn't know how quick Stephen Barker is.
Down to the line, looking good too. His time is going to be 11:50.9. That's fourth fastest through the stage. Moves up to sixth overall behind Kieran Hall. Ben Jagger still held the two-wheel drive in Fiesta lead in 11th overall after the two afternoon stages. He had a 30-second lead over Ben Hunt. Hunt was showing good, consistent pace throughout the day. Now easily ahead of Patrick Malley, who's still struggling with the gearbox problems. Matt Summerfield improving too, the open class two-wheel drive leader. Now 25 seconds ahead of Reg Cook and closing in on Malley for 14th place. And there's the rally lead now, out to 29.4 seconds for Hayden Patton over Gilmore. Argyle still third.
Stephen Barker's now got ahead of Sloane Cox in that junior battle.
Coming up, it's the race to the finish. Who gets the champagne? Rally Whangarei. Stay with us. Welcome back to Rally Whangarei, the third round of the Vantage Aluminium Joinery New Zealand Rally Championship and the closing stages on day two. I tell you what, these guys have got the right idea to sit back and check out the rally from a couch and a tree. Unbelievable. Hayden Patton, again, fastest through here. Time of 11 minutes, 10 seconds. As well as the leading Kiwi, he now held an overall rally lead of 1 minute over Coney Crocker. So it really was a breathtaking result for Patton. And for Emma Gilmore, holding on to second place in the afternoon stages. But the battle for fifth place behind Argyle and Inkster was just getting red hot. First through Kieran Hall, but he dropped 20 seconds in the stage, his only mistake of the day. And Sloane Cox pounced. The young driver was 16 seconds faster, moved ahead of Hall here, but the battle wasn't over. Running behind both drivers on the road, Barker was faster again and took that coveted fifth spot by just 8.4 seconds with one stage to go. So just a 10.5 kilometre sprint to the end now through the Millbrook stage. Mike Cameron may have been the last place competitor, but his consistent run netting him maximum points in the Classics. He's the hot favourite now for that 2009 title. And despite running on standard suspension, Dominic Unterberger kept up his points chase in the Fiesta class by finishing the day in 18th. Josh Marsden had been scoring top 10 times all afternoon, but he couldn't recover from those engine problems to finish 17th. A real highlight of the day was the close battle for the open two-wheel drive class. Reg Cook fought hard all day, but in the end, he was 5.6 seconds down on class winner Matt Summerfield, who finished 15th overall in the Skoda. Now with only third gear, Patrick Malley was lucky to stay 7 seconds in front of Summerfield in the end, picking up third in the Fiesta class. 13th overall, Alex Kelsey on his New Zealand Championship debut and fourth in the open class. Second in the Fiesta class, Nelson's Ben Hunt. Some good points for the scholarship winner. But in the end, it was the two Bens, Ben Jagger and his co-driver Ben Hawkins, the class winner of the Fiestas, on his home rally. He had let Malley get the better of him on day one, but made no mistakes today to take out the class win and 11th overall. Kirsty Nelson returned to her home rally in the hope of picking up Pirelli Star Driver points. She finished 10th place and was 5th in the Star Driver standings. An unremarkable rally for Kingsley Thompson, 9th overall. Great improvement on his non-finish at Otago.
Well, with a crash in Otago, it's probably understandable that he's been a bit off the pace up here.
But at least he's coming home to the finish. In his home rally too, Matt Jansen never really able to catch the three drivers in that 5th place battle. Had to settle for 8th place, but a sensational fight for 5th. Stephen Barker was 2 minutes late checking into control and was given a 20-second penalty, dropping him to 7th. So Kieran Hall back up to 6th and the top rookie once again, just 3.8 seconds off 5th place. That meant a great result for Sloane Cox after so much disappointment this season to finally come home in the top 5. And in the end, the open class cars have benefited from the road conditions, but weren't able to beat the class of the top Group N cars. Glenn Inkster will be happy, though, in 4th. And a podium finish again for Jeff Argyle, so he's now in a commanding points lead in the open class. And a great end to the rally for Emma Gilmore, second in the New Zealand Championship Rally, second APRC driver behind her teammate Cody Crocker. She missed out on third outright in the 2-day rally of Whangarei, but consolation, that went to Brendan Reeves driving her Vantage-sponsored car.
100. 7 right. Good job. Well done. Very good.
Well, he was looking at another rally defeat, unable to match Richard Mason's pace. But in the end, Mason's terrible luck on this rally has once again meant that Hayden Paddon can claim to be an international rally winner and takes the lead of the Vantage New Zealand Rally Championship.
Well done, son. Very good. 4 targets, 4 bullseyes. Bloody good weekend. Thank you.
So once again, Mason's bad luck is Paddon's good luck, and he'll take it too.
Hayden, well done. The second day's yours.
Oh, that's brilliant. Like, unfortunate for Richard, but, you know, we've been struggling up the front of the road, and it's been a good weekend for us. No real issues, and a bit of a deja vu from 2007 when Jack broke 2 stages from the end. We couldn't change the front tyres. Well, the exact same thing happened today, and our front tyres are absolutely shagged. So it's just excellent. Great credit to our team and sponsors, and yeah, what more can I say?
So Hayden Paddon wins day 2 of Rally Whangarei by 41.7 seconds over Emma Gilmore, and 5th place to Sloane Cox gets his championship hopes alive.
Karen Hall, first rookie, but bad luck for Barker, dropping to 7th place.
Ben Jagger leads the 2-wheel drive Fiestas in 11th overall from Ben Hunt. Matt Summerfield extends his open 2-wheel drive lead, and Mike Cameron takes the classics. But what a day for Team Green. In 2007, he was the youngest winner of this rally, and he's done it again.
Hayden, well done. Day 2's yours.
Yeah, it's awesome. To get maximum points here is definitely a big coup, especially when Richard got maximum points on day 1. The gap was starting to get a bit big again. So, you know, it's worked into our hands quite well today, and we come away with the championship lead, which I guess we've got to protect over the next couple of rounds.
And it's a reasonable lead too, 27 points.
Yeah, that's great, but, you know, as Richard shown today, things can turn around so quickly in this sport, so we've got to keep our heads screwed on and go into the next 2 with the same plan of attack, which is to go out and be as fast as we can and not hold back, basically.
Yeah, it's great to be second. We were very lucky to be second, actually. We had a few problems this afternoon, and we were just fingers crossed hoping we were going to get to the end, because we had engine problems and didn't really know if the car was going to run right or if we were going to get to the end at all. So to hear that Mason and Wes had problems definitely took the pressure off us. It's a shame that they had problems, as they'd both driven a really good rally.
Jeff, well done. Brought the open car home for a podium.
Yeah, it's a very good result after all the problems we had to get it there, and it's good for the team.
One of the features today was the big battle you had with Glenn Inkster.
Yeah, unfortunately we had another couple of issues through the day, which was putting us up and down in the times, but the last loop we were just able to bridge the gap all the time to make sure we had plenty tolerance on them.
Ben, well done. A victory on your home roads.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. It wasn't really looking like it was going to work out for us yesterday morning, but everything seems to have gone in our favour, and it's been an awesome result for the team and us.
So much to celebrate for Hayden Paddon in the end. Rally winner, Pacific Cup winner, now the leader in the New Zealand Championship points, top scores in the Pirelli Star driver standings, and heads off to Rally Australia for that shootout. Here's the overall point standing too. He takes the lead as Mason drops back to second with Gilmore in third.
And Ben Jagger 8th place in the leading 2-wheel drive car.
And after all of Patrick Malley's problems, Ben Hunt closes the gap to just 3 points behind him, and a disastrous weekend for Daniel Harris after his day 1 crash.
In the open 4-wheel drive, Jeff Argyle, comfortable leader over Glenn Inkster.
Matt Summerfield leads the open 2-wheel drive class, 19 points in front of Reg Cook.
And in the juniors, Matt Jansen leads over Sloane Cox and Josh Marsden third.
And yes, it's consistency that's keeping Matt Jansen ahead of both the junior and rookie championships at the moment. And next up, can Mason fight back in his home event, Rally Wairarapa?